Ugh. Man, I should just, like, turn off my computer and stop playing today, huh? So, it's funny, it's actually exceptionally unlucky to mulligan as much as we just did in Hex with the 2-1 charters. So, Hex doesn't generate their opening hands completely randomly. They use a modified hypergeometric distribution to remove variance from the game, which is actually very nice as someone who wants to play lower variance card games. Guidance, sweet. So Guidance is a cantrip that lets me Fate Weave, so I choose resource or non-resource here, so I'm gonna grab a resource out of my deck, and sweet. So this is why, again, Hex uses a digital design space to, like, reduce variance a lot. So even though I kept a 1-charter there, I hit the Guidance, which let me Fate Weave for a resource, and this resource Fate Weaves as well. So it doesn't draw a card, but it's gonna stack a resource on top of my deck. So I'm gonna hit my first 3 shard drops this game, which is actually great. Actually great. So again, Hex makes sure everyone mulligans less by using a modified hypergeometric distribution to, what's the word I'm searching for? A modified hypergeometric distribution to make it so everyone mulligans a little bit less. I don't have... Ooh, this is awkward. So I've made a small mistake here. I should have attacked with this Intrepid Conjurer first before I Fate Weave there. And the reason why I should have attacked first is when this deals damage to me, it buries the top card of my deck, it discards it, and if they discard a resource, they get to take it to their hand. So I put a non-resource on top of my deck because my opponent's going to bury the top card anyways. You'll notice here, too, one of the things that I really like about Hex is they encourage interactive TCG games. You can see my opponent and I have different portraits on either side of the screen here, and the portraits aren't just cosmetic. The portraits affect not only our starting life total, but they also give us what's called a champion power here to kind of help mitigate some of the variance that that happens with flooding often in games like this. My champion power for 7 charges, or basically when I've played 7 resources, it creates an Oracle song that lets me draw a couple extra cards. My opponent's champion for 7 charges creates what's called a Burning Banner, and what Burning Banner does is it gives all their troops +1 power and speed, so it lets them be a little bit aggressive. No idea, Uber Mikey. I think it was definitely worse than Sapphire Diamond Control last season when the Lasgar's decks were everywhere. But with Lasgar's decks, with Lasgar's no longer being legal, I don't know if that's still the case. So kind of a tilt that we saw. So Brown Fox out. This card's kind of sweet. Unfortunately, I'm playing a 3-color deck and I'm missing my second color. Or my third color. This card reveals itself when it's on the top of my deck and I can play it off the top of my deck, which is kind of awesome. This Intrepid Conjurer here is a 2-1 that when it becomes Valorous, it creates a copy of itself. And my Hero of Legend here creates these Valor power-ups for me whenever one of my troops hits my opponent. So I'm going to hit my opponent for 6 here and create 2 more Valors. And then I'm going to go ahead and Valor this Intrepid Conjurer and then Valor the next Intrepid Conjurer that it makes. Yeah, me too, Ziri. I think these Ardent Crusader decks are more reasonable now, and, what else? Ardent Crusader decks are more reasonable, and Sockets decks to get a big leg up. One of the other reasons I love Hex is that they have a great competitive scene. So they have 2 $1,000 cash tournaments that you can play from home every single weekend, which is nice. I've been traveling less for Magic this year, largely because of events on Magic Online and on Hex that don't require me to leave the house to play and be competitive. If my opponent doesn't have a Massacre to sweep my board up, we're going to be in a pretty good spot here. If they do have a Massacre, we're probably going to be pretty behind. Gross. So they buried a shard off the top of my deck, which really kind of sucks because I would really like a resource here. Do you have a Massacre? Cockatrice. Sure, I've got plenty of cards to discard. You're supposed to keep one of those Stradsbogs. 3. This is 12. Gonna attack with all of these. Generate a bunch of Valor. There's no reason for you to commit another troop to the board. Like, their sweepers, they're out here, and my Intrepid Conjurer keeps going wide on its own. So I'm just gonna go ahead and Valor this a couple of times to make a couple more Darkos here, but like, I'm even gonna keep a couple of Valors in my hand for in case they draw the Massacre. Like, they're very dead here. Actually, keeping 3 Valors in my hand means even if they Massacre, if they don't have 2 for the Locket to feel, I could just, like, do this. Maybe Ace. Oh. Oh, that's really good. Huh. Maybe I should have been thinking about Vampire Queen. So, Locket says whenever they play a card from their deck... Wait, are they still dead? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I should have... Okay, so I could have played around Vampire Queen by making another guy here. They're not going to gain life when they block, that's correct. And they're going to have to block a lot of these. But I should have... Now I got punished for not making another guy. And for not playing this out. So, when Hero of Legend attacks, it gives my Valor's troops invincible. And invincible in Hex means they don't take damage. It's not like indestructible in Magic. So if they don't take damage, my opponent doesn't gain life. Yeah, we're not dead by any means, but we're not in a great spot. And like, remember, we mulliganed to 5 this game, right? Like, we should be super far behind. Opponent just packs it. They weren't actually dead on board there, but all right, I'll take it. There you go. There you go. So, mulligan to 5, get there anyways. I think I'm going to put this Venerable Mystic in my deck. Sacrifices, destroy target constant. Their champion power is a constant. Confounding Ire is probably fine. Silent Sentinel's not very good. They're not a Deathcry deck. Do I want the Silver Talon Adjudicator? Are they likely to have more cards in their hand than me? They might be. I think Martyred Saint's probably pretty good. Is Blinding Ire good? This Void's a blood thing. Runebind's probably not stellar. Yeah, Blinding Ire hits blood. They might not have a sweeper main, that's true. I often, like, Hero of Legend is powerful, but I often don't mind, like, trimming the 4th copies of cards in this deck because of, against Hero Fall decks that could take extra copies of cards out of my deck. I kind of want another Ire. Do this. Let's give this a try. Intrepid Conjurer, Hero of Legend, is just so powerful. Constance deck seems fine. So this is where our resource base is. We really have to think about what we want to be doing with our resources in this deck because we're a Tri-Shard deck. I could play Cobblestones for Diamond and then play my Intrepid Conjurer on 1, but because this is my only Sapphire source in my hand, I actually want to play my Wild Ice on 1 so I can use this for Sapphire down the line. So we'll play Wild Ice and then we'll play this for Diamond. Alright, now that gives me a second. No, it still doesn't give me a Sapphire, so yeah. I'm just going to play the Wild Ice and Fate Weave a non-resource to the top of my deck here. And then next turn we'll go Well of Life, Intrepid Conjurer. The third turn we can play this Ardent Crusader here. Ardent Crusader is kind of a sweet card. So Ardent Crusader has a deck building restriction built into it. It's a very powerful card. It's a 4/4 with Skyguard and Steadfast. Then when it dies, it creates 2 1/1 flyers. But in order to play this card in my deck, I have to have 10 differently named Ardent troops in my deck. Sweet. Second Intrepid Conjurer is decent. Make sure to go Conjurer here. Curve out nicely. To go 2, 3, 4, hopefully. Hopefully no, like, Scars of War here. That would be annoying. Let's favor sweet. So they're probably drawing 2 cards and losing 2 life. It's a modal card where they pick 1 of 3 things. Yep. We're gonna put a lot of pressure on the table here. I have Skyguard Steadfast in the Crusader. Opponent complaining about variance in chat. So, Silver Talon Adjudicator is kind of a sweet card. It's an anti-aggro and kind of anti-control card. It is, if your opponent has more life than you, more health than you gain 5 health. If your opponent has more cards in hand than you draw 2 cards. So, opponent killing my Crusader now. So, small, I guess I could have interaction for that, so it's fine to do that there. Let's see, it might be a small misstep because I get to attack with these Phantoms now. I get to do this, do that. They might have a Massacre, but, like, this bird draws 2 cards, so, like, if they sweep this off the board, I'm really not too sad about that. And we're flooding a little bit here. Certainly flooding. So, like, honestly, one of the things I think Hex didn't get right is I think those other games that, like, remove the chat from the game, those games got it right. The chat really doesn't add anything meaningful to games like this. Just get rid of it. Yeah, OP is bitching about Screw hasn't missed a shard drop, that too. I think I'm going to leave both these Phantoms back so that way my opponent can't kill one and get in with the sprint. So they want to trade here. I'm a little sad I didn't attack with a Phantom, but I think this is fine to be a little conservative here. One of the nice things about playing Dreaming Fox in this deck too is that even though we're flooded here in 2 more resource drops, I'm going to get to make an Oracle Song and gas back up a little bit, which is nice. You want more fruit snacks? Dude, you've had like 3 packs of fruit snacks. You're done. I'm cutting you off. Oh, TCG players. Oh, TCG players. I'm gonna play this out. That way I can destroy their banner power here. To pump the brakes here, unfortunately. Don't spit fire if you don't want fire coming back your way. Sure. Did they read my Venerable Mystic? I understand that this is draft chaff. But, like, you've probably seen someone generate this off a Psychic Ascension at some point, right? What's going on, Scion? This sacrifices to destroy a constant. Hopefully my opponent attacks with everything here. We can destroy this. We can rip a Hero of Legend and then start cracking with these Intrepid Conjurers. Sure, that Phantom is dead. They have another removal spell for this. They have another removal spell for this one. 5 life drain is going to be hard to race if we don't hit a Hero of Legend. That being said, we get a draw step plus, we get a draw step plus 2 more draws off of this to hit something meaningful here. We are going to sacrifice this Mystic to destroy this Burning Banner before damage happens, because we want to cut my opponent off gaining extra life. I want to go ahead and get my blocks in here if they're going to allow first. Kill that. Transmogrifade's decent. Yeah, let's play this. I should have played Cobblestones out and gotten a Ruby. Just like bluff the 4th shard. Alright, I guess I'm just attacking with these two here. Okay, I'm gonna get the one you wanted, okay? I think I'm just gonna pass here. Nah, I'm gonna play the Intrepid Conjurer out. Because, like, there's no way they're... If they massacre, like, that's fine for me, I think. I'm just gonna transmog both of these here. I'm gonna wait for them to attack first, though. Because I don't want them to hold back random chaff blockers. I'd much rather, like, I'm at 21 health, so, like, we're gonna use my life total as a resource here. Like, they want to attack with these because they life drain anyways. And transmog both of these, and then just take 3, you know, take some amount of damage. Morning, Chrissy. Okay. Okay. Nightfall, sweet. That one doesn't even deal damage. So they're life draining for 3 here, but then we've got 6 power. Again, hopefully we hit a Hero of Legend. That would be great. Should I let my opponent know how unlucky we are? I feel like I should let them know how unlucky I am. That's what chat's for, right? For letting them know how unlucky I am. At least we won't draw a resource next turn. Pocket Army actually kind of sucks for us. This thing gets to activate every turn. Like, they had a good transmog, too. Gross. I'll leave this back, probably. Attacking. Okay, do they have something else to play out? Sure. Let me make another Intrepid Conjurer. No? That. Color up this Stork. By that, I mean they have a piece of spot removal here. Do I have any outs at this point? I'm trying to think about what our possible outs are here. I guess I attack with these because they're not going to trade with the Pocket Army, right? Because they want to keep making Pocket Armies. I could hit a... what's it called? I could hit a Martyred Saint's not bad. Hero of Legends is okay. Moonrise Elder is pretty decent. Moonrise Elder actually puts us right back into this game, right? Like, it blocks the Vampire Queen because it's got Flight and Swift Strike in it, and then, like, it makes a bunch of Valors to let my Intrepid Conjurers go wide. Yeah, I've got 2 Moonrise Elders in the deck. But I guess we'll keep playing to that. I agree with the assessment that we're pretty far behind, but, you know, just, like, thinking about our outs, like, can we actually get back into this game? If they brick a little bit or, like, don't have 2 removal spells and we draw Moonrise Elder, like, you go pretty wide. Alright, we're done there. So play this 3rd game on the play. I don't think I want to change anything. I'm happy with all the stuff we have here. Yeah, I think this is probably fine. Maybe I don't want to board out an Ardent Crusader. Maybe 4 Transmogs is too much interaction. I disagree with that assessment. I think that assessment might have been true when Ladguard's Vengeance was legal and like Ruby aggressive decks forever, but like when the mono red decks are good in Magic Standard format too, the play versus draw is pretty important there as well. Conjurer here, and again, like, I don't know if the spell base, the actual like non-resources we're playing in this deck are powerful enough, but like the resource base in this deck is very consistent. I've been hitting all of my thresholds every game, almost every game. On this for a non-resource, see what we get. Vintage was not pretty, Stu. We played a deck that didn't have violence in it, and boy did we get punished for playing a deck that didn't have violence in it. I don't know how people show up and play those decks. They must hate themselves. Getting cheap shotted here. It's really unfortunate. I was kind of hoping people would like cut cheap shots. Ruby deck is dead. Why are you still playing cheap shot? I guess the Mystic is more likely to be able to attack through whatever they made for the cheap shot. So that's kind of real. Although I guess they couldn't, so it doesn't matter. Hey look, Brown Fox Scout. Okay, this is actually kind of awkward. I'm gonna Guidance here because I don't want to Fate Weave because I want to play this Brown Fox Scout off the top of my deck. So I'm gonna grab a non-resource out of my deck. I'm gonna go ahead and play this for a wild threshold here, and then just pass the turn. So again, Brown Fox Scout flips itself over when it's on top of my deck, and I can play it off the top of my deck for the 2 resources, and it's quick. So let's play this out on my opponent's turn here. Yeah, Fate Weave doesn't shuffle. Fate Weave just grabs a card and changes its position in your deck. I don't want a resource though. I really don't want a fifth shard at this point. I want to play this Brown Fox Scout this turn. So, it's actually kind of interesting. I think I'm going to start by attacking with this Brown Fox Scout because they might kill it. I could play the Howling Plains Alpha and try and Valor this, but that's not great against a piece of removal. And I think that's the line here post-combat because I think they might have killed this. I don't know, it's tough. I don't intend doing this though. Sweet. So, I miss points of damage, but I think trying to play around a removal spell there is worthwhile. They've got 6 cards in their hand. They're going to draw up to 7, down to 5. I think I'm going to put a non-resource on top of my deck. I just want a bunch of action now. Hopefully we don't get massacred next turn. If we do get massacred, we get Silvertail Adjudicator. I'm still going to be sad, but like we won't just be out of the game. Block it, sure. Unfortunately, this doesn't destroy artifacts, just constants. That's actually pretty good. So I'm actually going to play this out. And I'm going to Valor this Intrepid Conjurer here. And then I'm going to go ahead and attack for a bunch here. Howling Plains Alpha says when it attacks, all of my Valorous troops get +1/+1. So this attack's going to come across for 8, 13. And again, we're going to be pretty sad if they massacre us. But if they don't massacre us, we're actually going to be in a pretty good spot here. And I don't think I should add anything else to the table here. Again, because like Massacre's the card they need. Art of Embers. Okay, sure. I'm actually going to Transmogrifade this in response here, because if they have a non-slow shard that they haven't played out yet, I don't want them to get 2 triggers off of this Art of Embers. So when this gives them a Valor, and whenever they play a Valor, they get to deal 3 damage to something. So they're gonna get to shoot something here, but they would have gotten to shoot 2 somethings if they would have had this one be a Heart of Ember still. So the sequencing and holding the Transmogrifade up was actually exceedingly relevant, which is sweet. So they're gonna get to like kill something, maybe this, and then I'm gonna get to attack for a bunch next turn. So that still feels pretty good. If they kill this one, so I can't make more guys, these are gonna attack with 5 power next turn because of the Howling Plains Alpha powering up my Valorous troops. Campbell. K-A-M. Okay, they're Valoring that one. We'll see what they shoot here. I think they're supposed to shoot one of these. Oh, I guess they can shoot the Howling Plains Alpha too, right? That seems fine. We would like to draw a... Is Blinding Ire lethal? That would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Blinding Ire is exactly lethal here. Let's go ahead and play Silver Talon Adjudicator and draw 2 cards. Do I Transmogrifade one of these and hope it turns into a non-troop? It's lethal if it turns into a non-troop, right? This would be 4 off of this. They block this one, so this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, so I'm going to transmog this because I probably want to transmog it anyways. If this turns into a non-troop, they die. So pretty good chance it stays a troop, but like I want to downgrade this card anyway, so I might as well take this. Just transmog. Alright, and they got a Swift Strike troop, so I guess that was eating my thing anyways. We need to try and dodge, what's the word I'm searching for? We need to try and dodge a Vampire Queen this turn. Vampire Queen, we're probably dead. One said GG's. They're gonna continue playing. That's my favorite kind of BM. The good games. Alright, we'll keep playing Hex. Maybe they miscounted. If they have Queen here, we probably can't recover. We beat the double Queen in game 1, but like we already had our engine going. Alright, sweet. Got there. Didn't have the Queen. They only played 2 Queens, right? So like the chances of them having the Queen aren't excessively high. I don't know if this deck is good, but I really like playing these Ardent Crusader decks, so I kind of hope it's good. Kinda hope it's good. Matman Hex playing Uzu. And again, so our racial shards require we have a specific race in our hand. So this needs a human, this needs a coyote. This hand has neither of these things, so it actually can't make any thresholds. This hand only has 1 resource in it, but it is an ice, so we get to Fate Weave with that. Huh, am I supposed to lead on this now? Yeah, I think I want to just try and get as much pressure as possible onto the table. Looks like Matman's playing Empress, based on the Sapphire one. This could be a Sapphire Blood control deck. Yeah, hexpvptools.com. Pimped Up Monk has all of the data. Ooh, a brew. Okay. Some kind of sockets deck. This on top. Put a resource up there. Unfortunately, this has Swift Strike, so I'm not going to be able to attack. Is one of their best starts on the play. Unfortunately, can't do anything. We were really hoping to hit a wild resource there and not a Sapphire, so I could play this out. Now my curve's probably going to be bad enough that I'm not going to be able to win this game. Just don't have any interaction. Our hand's just kind of clunky. Double Animus. Yeah, it's probably lights out. Alright, so I'm doing this. This gains me life and draws me cards. We're pretty dead here. Probably not Stu. We played that yesterday, and I like to get a variety, and especially when a format's new. If we'd have been on the play, this hand might have ended up being okay. Yeah, Carnage Steam it's not an exclusive Steam game. Yeah, so we're... That's funny. Dead here. So they had their nuts on the play and we didn't draw any of our interaction. Silent Sentinel's pretty bad in this matchup. They don't have any Death Cry stuff. Martyred Saint's fine. I don't really know that I have a lot of stuff on the board that I want to bring in if I'm being completely honest. Like a couple of Runebinds are like okay for like generating a little bit of tempo. Like I kind of just like the core of my deck here. Yeah, I'm just gonna fix a bit. Like maybe I can go down and all use specs to bring in a Runebind. I guess I don't hate that. On the draw, I'm gonna do that. I'll swap these. This hand's slow. But it has hero and I'm going to keep this on the play. It's slow, but I'm going to keep it on the play. If they play... It is just you. The budget decks I updated when Lasgar's Vengeance was banned, yes. I basically just took out the Lasgar's Vengeance deck. They have their... Well, I said last game was their nuts. Last game they didn't have Sentry. And our threshold base is biting us here. I drew a 2-drop, but I don't have a wild to play it out. The fact that this hand doesn't have a wild might be the tipping factor, and like maybe I shouldn't keep it. Alright, no Animus is good for us. MC's not, though. I mean, that's just unlucky, Burgle. There's more wild than anything else. We have 12 wild and 10 sapphire. I think that's just variance. And there's similar number of wild and sapphire sources. I think I got drunk last night and accidentally used my Prime sub, so here's $5 for the month. Thank you, K. Smith. I appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you for the continued support. I'm gonna go ahead and attack with this, I think. Oh, you know what? Am I supposed to... Just attacking with this seems fine. We're to go Howling Alpha next turn. Or this turn, sorry. Hitting the wild there actually might mean we're able to race here. All use specs is really good with the Valor. To answer your question earlier, Ace, I don't know that 3 is right, but like, it's like Animus powerful when you get it going with Valors, right? Like, it gets out of control really quickly. Even a single trigger from this card just rolls people over. Fizzy Dragon Pun with the brand new $4.99 subscription. Thank you very much. It is September, so all subs are half off. All new subs are half off. I appreciate the support, folks. Welcome, welcome. We've not seen why they might be Uzuke Smith. I wonder if they have to play this turn. We know they have a socketed thing because this readied. That's technically a socketed thing, yep. The old freebie there. Alright, we're making a threshold here. Making a threshold. We got another diamond? Weird. So, I'm gonna hold this guidance for next turn. I'm just gonna Valor... I'm gonna Valor this and attack with these two. Next turn, I can Guidance to recast this. And then use these Valors to trigger it a bunch. Actually in a pretty decent spot here, right? Horn and Nero. Darkheart kind of sucks. I have to sacrifice my Howling Plains Alpha here, but like... So, we'll start by doing this. Which lets us get a resource to Runebind this. And then I can Valor this, which triggers Auspex. And then... I'm gonna value the Auspex here. Because this is gonna have 6 power, because this is already Valorous, right? Yeah, this is gonna have 6 power anyways, so I can play out the Crusader. So both of these will be invincible when they attack. I assume we're gonna see some chump blocks here. This has Skyguard Steadfast, so it keeps the MC at bay too. Be right back. I need to check a diaper. I think I might need to change him. Yeah, I use specs and valors is kind of great. Kind of great. It lets you race from board states where like you have no business racing, basically. So, you have another transmog, or did you miss this? It's been a while since Crusaders had. It's been a while since this Crusader's had that jump it out. Alright, play this out. That's actually our 7th, so it's gonna let us hit our champion power too. We're doing Silver Talon Adjudicator here. Draw 2 cards. We don't gain any life, but we get to draw 2 cards. Moonrise, Elder, sweet. This is not Valorous, so they could be ganging up on it, but if they want to block this a bunch, I think I'm okay with that. I get to trade with the Dark Heart here. That would be fine with me. Probably going to be sacking this next turn of the Dark Heart if the Dark Heart's still there. Weird that they didn't block the 7 power one. Sweet on the scoreboard. To build your own Animus, right? Yeah, it's definitely sweet. Do I want to change anything? Auspex just like took that game and like ran away with it, right? So like I don't think I want to cut that. I kind of want another Runebind on the draw, especially. Runebind's kind of sweet in this matchup too, because like if they have a Dark Heart out, they normally have all socketed things. So you can like Runebind one of their things and they have to sack it to their own Dark Heart. On the draw, I kind of want one more piece of interaction. How many? This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't know if I can cut a Brown Fox Scout, but my gut says I want to cut Brown Fox Scout. It's like a Trim a Conjurer. I have 8, 9, 13 humans. I could Trim a Conjurer. Conjurer's kind of medium without Valors in this matchup. Like, you want to see a Conjurer, but, like, we draw enough cards. Yeah, that sounds great, right? And, like, Guidance really helps smooth out the resource base in this deck, too, because, like, it's just letting us see more resources consistently, so we're more likely to have all of our different thresholds. So, we get to go Diamond Guidance on 1, and this makes Wild or Sapphire, so we just need to find a Wild or a Sapphire that will have all 3 of our shards. Perfect. All you specs in hand to, we're going to go Guidance into Decree your turn 2 play, into Hero into all you specs. These Sentries are another reason that, what's it called, are a little medium. Honestly, if he doesn't play any, yep, that's something. I say if he doesn't play anything that's worth taking here, I might just Decree of Banishing this. Gonna get rid of this Lapidator. It's a little bit of a liability. We have 1 Decree of Banishing in our deck post board. We have 1 Decree of Banishing in the deck, period. Just like a 5th Transmog, kind of. A little bit bad against Dark Heart, but that's what it is. No Fate Weave, yep. Transmog. That technically makes Valors, I guess. I probably don't even want to block here, right? Yeah, like I'm at 25, so like why would I? This will get bigger later from all you specs triggers. So do I. Zerzy, so do I. We're going to Transmog. Leaving this in play also gives me extra fodder to sack to a Dark Heart should they draw one. Next turn we'll get to go hero into Runebind something to trigger my Auspex. Like, even just the first trigger in Auspex is just like so huge. They attack here, I think I have like 0% to block if they're thinking of something like Totem Trap. I guess I technically can't because they don't have that. If we, wow, okay, if we had a resource here, they're boned. Yep. Alright, sweet. There's my Auspex. Yeah, I'm just playing this. Like if I get 2 triggers off of this card, they're just like never going to win the game, right? This gives all of our troops in all zones +1/+1 permanently when we play an action. Yep. Matt misses the resource drop again and the ratings on the wall. Sorry for the bad beat on the third game, Matt. The first two had a lot of pretty good back and forth. Lanzax playing Furico. Probably the combo-ish deck that we were playing the other day. This is a touch awkward, right? Like, I'm gonna keep this hand, but I want to ice on 1, but then I can't Howling Plains Alpha on 2. Which is a little bit sad, Panda. Yes, Fate Weave does stack. And remember, your deck doesn't... The only instance in which Fate Weave wouldn't stack is if you Fate Weave the exact same card twice. But, like, let's say you play an Ice and put a resource on top of your deck, and then you Guidance and get a non-resource, you're guaranteed to still have that resource on top of your deck. But, like, in the odds you Ice and get a resource, and then you Guidance and get a resource, there's a non-zero chance you Guidance that same resource you just put on top of your deck. Wild Ice is 1 turn too late here. I do think I just want to go ahead and play this Howling Plains Alpha on 2 and get some pressure down. This card, if you Valor it, if this card was an all-star, draft all-star, if you Valor this and start attacking, it's hitting for 4 on turn 3, which is like a very good aggressive clock. This deck has been way more consistent than I thought it was going to be. And Auspex has been impressive. We're just never going to use our champion power this game. Well, that was a good draw. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and offer this trade here. Okay. This... I'm actually going to put another resource on top of my deck here, because I wouldn't mind an on-slow Shard deck search, so we could, like, play Hero of Legend plus something else. And, like, this Moonrise Elder is going to demand a lot of resources. Like, resources are kind of going to be our bottleneck this game. We, like, already have a lot to do with the resources that... We already have a lot of things to spend our resources on. I'm not going to attack with this one because, again, I want to Valor this one. Hero of Legend says when one of my Ardent troops hits my opponent, I generate a Valor. They could have a Transmog here. A Runebind, I suppose. They do not. They're probably up a creek without a battle at this point. Yeah, that's true. The double slow shard hands where you can't deposit them when they were on the play do feel pretty miserable. Dealing Valorous. And our opponent for 8 here generates 6 Valors. Going wide. Alright, so how do I want to board in this matchup? Runebind doesn't seem terrible. It can keep them off of their combo for a turn. Decree of Banishing and Transmogrifade don't seem particularly impressive. Runebind seems fine. Do I want Confounding Ire? I don't want Silent Sentinel. Wise Magistrate doesn't seem terrible. Their deck has a lot of cheap cards in it. Maybe Verdict of the Ancient Kings and Confounding Ire, and then one of these other things perhaps can come back in. Maybe Silver Talon Adjudicator's not terrible. They often draw a lot of cards. I hate that. Yeah, Arcane Soil is pretty important, so I think it's worth bringing in one. I don't think I want to bring in both Ires in this matchup, just because, like, drawing 2 sounds miserable, but if we, like, draw 1 and it's dead, it's fine. If we draw 1 and it's good, it's, like, super worthwhile. Unfortunately, this well doesn't make a threshold if we don't have a threshold to start, so we can't keep this Guidance 1 resource hand. Otherwise, I'd snap that off if that could make a diamond. And this hand is currently missing a Coyote, but it's reasonable other than that. Probably going to go Diamond Intrepid Conjurer on 1 here. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Let's go Diamond Intrepid Conjurer. Hit our Hero of Legend again here. Pretty good. My Guidance for a resource here. I kind of want to make a threshold with that. Perfect. There's an ice. Now it doesn't matter if we make a threshold. I'm going to offer this trade. Since they took the trade, I'm going to play this Well of Life and then play this Intrepid Conjurer out. And then next turn, if they don't have a blocker, we can go Howling Plains into Hero. If they do put a blocker out, I'll go Howling Plains and Ardent Crusader. Pretty likely that they have a blocker. They have a lot of cheap troops. And then next turn, I can go Hero of Legend, smash with this. It's annoying. Alright, so I don't really want to play this turn, so I'm actually going to play this Ice out, which is sweet, and then Fate Weave a different non-resource to the top of my deck. So the Brown Fox Scout goes away, and the next turn is actually perfect, because next turn I can play Hero of Legend plus play this Brown Fox Scout off the top of my deck. This deck just gets to play a whole bunch of Hex cards that I really love. The reason I enjoy playing it. We're going to get to go wide with Conjurer here soon if they don't have Transmogrifades or Shackling Strands or a way to get this off the table or the Hero Legend off the table. I mean, I genuinely like playing the Ardent Crusader decks too. Like, the first CCS I top-8'd was with the first set Ardent Crusader was legal for. Verdict's actually a great draw here. It means I can stop any powerful draw spell out of them on their turn and then play this off the top of my deck during my ready step before I draw it. Like, they play, like, Arcane Soil, or they could also just, that draws a card. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna Verdict to the Ancient Kings that one. Because it also stops their Prophecy draw if we interrupt this. Sweet. I'm going to put a stop on my turn during my ready step. So basically, after my resources come back before I draw for the turn, I'm going to be able to play this Brown Fox Scout off the top of my deck. And then we'll draw a different card. People often ask about 3-shard decks in Hex, and I think with the racial shards and the combination of Ice and Guidance, that the resources might be playable in this deck. Get 4 Valors here. Play this out. Add Ruby to our Threshold base. What's it called decks? I've been running into a lot of MC decks, Burgle, and they put Flight Steadfast in their MC, so this can block MC with Flight Steadfast. That's probably the game. Moving on up. It's about an hour with this deck. Let's switch it up.